Hi guys, Jodie from JPS Family Daycare Advisors here. We're going through the survival guide and we're currently up to chapter 15, enrolment and orientation. Now, enrolment and orientation is the cornerstone, if not the key, to relationships with families. So that's your opportunity to not only meet and greet and see that if you can meet their needs and those sorts of things, so that practical side of things, do they want meals provided, is their child toilet trained, so all of those practical things. But it's also an opportunity for you to set the baseline. So sometimes you've got to be hospitable, there's no doubt about that when orientating a new family, and you've got to be nice and friendly and approachable and all those sorts of things, but it is the opportunity to set that baseline for your home business and what that looks like for you. So you've got to be, even though you are being hospitable and friendly and welcoming and all those sorts of things, you can't say, oh yeah, no, but for you I will. Oh yeah, no, but for you I will. You've got to say, this is the policy of the service and this is how we do that. How does that suit you? Does that suit you? Would you like any further information about that? So essentially your orientation and your enrolment is an induction period for families. So I always recommend with enrolment is enrolment, and then orientation is orientation. And orientation, when I was running services, I always had a 3-month orientation period where I would maintain a checklist on the family to make sure that I'd covered off everything that I'd covered off. And that included things like behaviours that they can expect at their child's age. So they might be enrolling with a 9-month-old, and you can say, you know what, with 9-month-old babies, this is what we can often see during the settling in process, and this is what you may find when they turn around 12 months or 18 months. So these are the kind of things that we deal with a 9-month-old and moving forward. You may also indicate things like biting at certain ages. So during, you may find that there is biting at certain ages, and that's really developmentally appropriate. This is some of the strategies that I have in place should that happen. If you've got any questions, please let me know. You definitely want to cover off fees and times and those sorts of things, and really particularly in family daycare. In all education and care services, families will be late from time to time. Life happens, and it happens to all of us. Cars break down, people run late, it happens. But you do want to let them know that it is actually impeding on your personal time. And often in family daycare, we see families take more advantage of that lateness. It's not like in a centre where, they know that the centre's getting closed and all those sorts of things. So you've got to really educate your families on what that looks like. So if you're approved to provide care between 9 and 5, then there are legalities that fall outside of those approvals. Obviously, you can't leave the child at 5 o'clock if the parent's not there and that's the time that you close, but you can educate families that, within the education and care legislation, these are the times that I'm approved to operate. I can't be operating outside of that because otherwise I get into trouble and all those sorts of things. So it's about educating families as you go. And that's ongoing beyond the 3 months, where I recommend that 3-month orientation, but it is ongoing all the time. But that 3 months is where you would maintain some kind of documentation so that you make sure that all of your families have been made aware of something, they've been given the right resources, whether that be your handbook or whether that be your policies or whatever that looks like. So you make sure that you're transferring that information over. And it also gives you an opportunity to raise those conversations with families. So how are you finding this? What's going on? Have you got any feedback? So it gives you that opportunity to engage families back in, and that sets the pace for your relationship. And we know that in family daycare, you have longer relationships often than centre-based services. So good luck. We're going to move on to the next chapter now. I'll see you. See ya. Bye.